Howdy there, guys, and welcome back to Edgar TV, where the story of night one for me at the World Darts Championship was the Cameron Menzies story. He took to his social media, which has put out a viral tweet where he said about how he's plumbing and he's doing his day job during the day, and then he'll be heading to the Alexandra Palace later on. Now, because the time of year it is, the day job for Cameron Menzies couldn't stop, and he could only get half a day off work, meaning he had to work till 12 o'clock on the day he was playing in the World Darts Championship in the evening session. So he had half a day, travelled down to London, took part in the World Darts Championship, won 3-0 against Rusty Jake Rodriguez, and set up a second round clash with Dave Chisnell. Now, for me, there was a lot of things to take from this story. First of all, what a journey and a day that was for Cameron Menzies. The second thing is something we've picked up on before here on this channel, and there's been lots of articles around the internet talking about how the prize money doesn't quite come down, or there's no guarantee or safety in regards to those mid-ranked players at the moment within the PDC. Now, the easy thing to do is to take a look at like a ranking system, and then you scroll down to Menzies and you go, oh well, look, Cameron Menzies now is on £94,000. And what we tend to do is we tend to just look at that and look at it in its simplistic form and go, well, divide that over 2 years, that's like £45,000 a year. He should be fine. He doesn't need to work with that. However, dig a little bit deeper. When you dig a little bit deeper here, you'll see how the money sort of trickles in. So first of all, £30,000 of that has been accommodated from this year's World Championship and last year's World Championship. So £30,000 there in total. That comes in one lump sum. The rest of it over 2 years, look how it just trickles in small amounts throughout the years. And you can see how it becomes hard then when these events are split over weeks apart. Sometimes, if you're not in those European tours, you can go 11 weeks without being able to pick up any prize money. So you can see how it gets a little bit trickier. The other thing that I noticed and I sort of stood out for me was when we looked at Cameron Menzies' shirt here, you'll see that he is sponsored by Unicorn, but he doesn't have any other sponsors on his shirt, which means all the expenses and things are going to come directly out of that prize money. Now, the prize money that Cameron Menzies would be getting would have several deductions to it. So he's got his PDPA levy, which is 2%. He's got his PDPA membership every year, which is £550 a year. That's £1,100. 2% off the £94,000 as well needs to come off. So he's lost a few £1,000s of that before he's even touched that money in order to then pay his yearly expenses, such as his travelling costs, his hotels, everything that needs to come on that one. If you do want to see all the sort of deductions that a player faces, including things you probably never thought about, such as the fact that Cameron won't be able to drive his normal car under normal car insurance. He is now classed as a professional sportsman, so he needs professional sportsman insurance. I've done a video on that. This is the thumbnail you're looking for. I'll link it on the end as well in regards to all the deductions that we have to go through, because Cameron sat kind of where I was a few years ago, sort of that mid-rank position in the PDC. So what rank do you need to be in order to be a professional player? Now, this is where it goes a little bit different. I think nowadays you can be a professional player in the PDC if you're in the top 60. Menzies is in the top 60, but one thing we've noticed already, the lack of sponsorship on his shirt, that will change the factor very slightly. But the other thing also comes down to the person and the personality. If you're one of these people like Cameron Menzies is, he has a lot of nervous energy. He talks about it quite regularly and fondly, about how he gets nervous on the stages and in situations. And certainly in that position where he hasn't had consistency in his prize money, because he's not been on the PDC long, he's had his tour card for 2 years. This win at the World Championship guarantees that he's going to keep that tour card. Maybe in a year's time he feels a bit more comfortable, but some people don't like living month to month as well, so it comes down to the individuals as well and how they are and how confident they are in sort of their natural persona. But Menzies, being quite a nervous person, might think, right, well, I'm not going to go professional until I've got X amount in the bank, so it allows me to have a bit of a negative run. Because the other thing is, with the ranking system and the PDC, you're always up against the seeds. So when you go to a Pro Tour event, if you're not in the top 32, you get either the first round where you don't draw the top 32, or you play them in the second round. So you're most likely to play one of the top 32 players in round 1 or 2. And certainly if that's your only form of income, you're not going to be too settled, shall we say, when it comes to that, and you're thinking about your bills and you're thinking about all the other problems. He mentioned in that interview with Online Darts and Phil Bars about how he sees himself like darts is a hobby for him, and a lot of the time that can be conducive to better performance as well when it doesn't become your be all and end all. We've seen people when they switch to a full-time schedule really struggle with it. We look at players in recent times either as well that have not quite been able to convert into that full time, when the second you wake up all you think about is darts. Johnny Clayton, a fine example of someone who worked until very recently despite the fact he was winning TV titles. So I get the fact that sometimes you just need that little bit of a distraction. It's going to be interesting to follow the Menzies story. He has mentioned he would like to go full time, but I do feel that maybe a little bit of security in there first. I'm sure we're going to see plenty more stories like this, and it's just a key reminder here about that professional tour card does not mean professional sportsman status. A lot of the players still working. I'd say at least half of the tour still on the day job. I will be keeping you up to date with all the stories throughout the World Championships. We'll be following loads of social media profiles, seeing if there's any fun, quirky stories we can pick up on. So if you want to see those, hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll catch you soon for some more Edgar TV.
Edgar TV.